everybody. It's Linda G, and I'm here with your favorite guest, Sterling.
Hello, good morning, everybody, or good evening, wherever you are. Yeah,
We've been doing this for how many years now?
4 years maybe.
4 years.
I think so. Yeah,
It's I've just really enjoyed, but we sure have had interruptions with one thing or the other, fires or,
right. The last month we had the fires to contend with, so
but you kept
evacuations.
getting your power shut off.
Yeah, we're getting a generator, but unfortunately the deal is right, everybody's getting a generator now. So the backlog of just getting it all taken care of is taking a long time. Even the city will put approvals through sometimes in a couple of days. Now they're like weeks and weeks to maybe even months out. So everything's getting backed up with getting generators installed. Everybody wants one. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait till you get yours in.
Mhm.
But you've been asking for a while, even before these fires.
We were looking at them, and we had a vendor and all that. So yeah, it's coming. It's going to happen sooner rather than later here. So yeah.
Okay, you should be sure to tell Linda to write me and say, we got it, so I can go, yay.
There
So
you
we
go.
need to thank your guides and Linda
Hmm.
for helping assist with all this information. She fortunately, because Dan doesn't work for me anymore, my daughter
Right.
does, and she was unsure how to do it, but Linda took up, I can't believe it, she was just so generous. She said, I'll go through and give you the questions.
Yeah, we had 700 questions on our community board this week,
Oh my
and
God.
I narrowed it down. I think she did the 89 questions or something that I did on the show for today. And then there was the questions for you too, because she wants to make sure we don't duplicate, right?
I know
Don't
that
ask
she's the
don't
only
ask
one
all
who
the
can
same
do it.
questions on your show that we're doing on our show. So yeah, it takes a lot of time. I kid you not. Yeah,
Oh my God, she works so hard. God bless her. Okay, so we'll start off with question number one. Thank you guys for your questions. Will,
sure.
will
Yeah.
the State Bar Association start cracking down on these various lawyers doing 47's dirty work?
They already are, but it's not going to be at a fast enough rate to make a big difference. Because for me, I get like the bar associations a little bit in disarray as well too. Like they've never had to deal with like this much like corruption among lawyers.
Blatant,
Like this is like a firestorm for them too. And although you see things like Giuliani had his license repealed, right, taken back, it's not going to have a big effect on what's going on around 45 right now, right? The Bar
right?
Association, they're in disarray, is what I'm getting. Mhm.
Well, and also judges are saying that the attorneys representing Trump, he can't believe what they're bringing forth. It's like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
47 is now defying court rulings. What will happen?
Well, it's definitely slowing him down. It's definitely slowing down. And I always get something like half the cases that he brings, it's like throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall. Half of them will stick, half of them won't. So it's definitely slowing them down. The courts are getting wise to what's going on. They're passing the buck to slow it down, right? Put it to lower courts. So I do see there's going to be some good effect here with the courts
Good.
of slowing down the madness. Yeah.
47 is talking about a $5,000 stimulus check. Is this a distraction?
100%.
Yeah, I felt that
100%.
too.
Because I think you'd have to put that against, let's say, $2 trillion in savings for Doge, right? DOGE, and there's nowhere near $2 trillion of savings. So it's a mirage. Yeah.
And somebody on one of those social media said, "Oh, Elon says they're going to be sending out $8,000 rebate checks to everybody February 30th."
There you go. There you go. Yep.
Yeah, it's all a fraud, you guys. Don't believe it. Will the U.S. military stand strong and follow the Constitution and end this nightmare?
Yeah, absolutely. I've always seen that the military, in terms of actually the four-part strategy that my guides laid out in the February 2nd show I did, I refer to as the AIM strategy, AIMS, standing for analysis, investigation, then movement slash military, and then separation. So yes, in the end, the military is going to stand with the Constitution. I see that, and you're going to see.
I seriously feel the military is going to save us.
You're going to see a lot of this happen by summertime of this
Okay.
year.
Okay. Um, there's a lot of turmoil going on in the Pentagon right now with that hedge, whatever his name is. I call
Joint
him
Chiefs of
Hedgehog,
Staff,
but
was it
his
the
head,
Joint Chiefs of Staff that was fired?
yeah, the stuff he's doing, and it's not going over well.
Right.
Okay, are we going to see House and or Senate Republicans turning against 45?
Yeah, yes, and we already are. You're going to see what I get. This is going to happen in a couple of tranches. So you're going to see first like two GOP members start to come across the aisle and start to help with the votes. Then you see four, then you see six. So all this is leading up here over the next number of weeks. We're going to start to see more of this happening. Yes.
Okay. Will Social Security payments be delayed or not paid out to the millions of people who rely on them each month?
Don't see that happening. What I have seen is that they're going to change the way they calculate or try to play some games behind the scenes how they calculate Social Security. But then I've always seen every time I looked at it, the calculations come out with the same results. So, whether they use the last 2 years, last 20 years of your work, or it looks like everybody is protected. So I just got a cold chill. That's a confirmation.
Okay,
So
cool.
everybody's protected. Yeah.
Will 47 and EM try to steal the midterm elections?
Well, they've already started. They've already started to do it. They won't be successful because the information coming out by summer of this year will actually put out into the public a lot of the electronic malware put into the systems and
Yeah,
voting software and data centers and satellite uplink issues. So all this is going to be uncovered. So it's going to be stopped. But those systems are already in place to cheat the system for the midterms. So they're actually going to be able to extract them.
they will be able to. And
They'll
also,
be
I
able.
think you're going to see people who never voted go out and vote.
Well, a lot of people did vote the last election. Their votes just didn't get counted.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
yeah.
That's true. But it just feels like an onslaught.
Hmm.
Sterling has indicated that animals have been brought to Earth from other planets. Were the dinosaurs also transplanted here, or did they evolve as scientists believe?
Absolutely, everything was brought here. Everything was brought here. Everything started off as a star seed with your local helpful extraterrestrial group. So yeah, everything was brought here on Earth. I didn't. My team has not said anything evolved here naturally per se. All brought here. Even it was deposited by meteors, right? So sometimes there's certain cells and cell structures that hitched a ride on meteors that hit the Earth. That's how they got here. Yeah.
Wow. Will there be a tariff war between US and Canada? By the way, the Philadelphia Eagles refused the invite to the White House for winning the Super Bowl.
Mhm. The question you're asking.
Tariff war between
Oh,
US
there
and
already
Canada.
so there already are. So there are going to be tariff wars, but it'll be the better part of 2025 as we get into 2026. It'll start to calm down. So there already are tariff wars. They already started. Yeah.
I think Canada is going to hit US pretty hard. Dear Sterling and Linda, some say we can't predict events for ourselves and our families using tarot cards. That's me. Some people can.
Mhm.
What is the spiritual reason behind this belief?
Well, so there's not really a spiritual reason for that. It really everything gets down to the connection involving the clairs, right? The eight clairs. But clairaudience is a very important clair. And as long as the clairaudience side is tuned up, any tool that you integrate into that, it's dowsing rods, it's tarot cards, it's pendulums, you're leveraging off of that clair. So that's not true. The premise put forth in this question that you can't read or predict things for your family. You can. It just all depends on the clair, right? The clair you're using and yeah, built out. It's a good excuse, though. I always say I can't read for family. That's a good excuse.
Well, I can't, except I see things. I don't read them in the cards. Like
Yeah.
25 years before my brother-in-law died of Alzheimer's, right before he married my sister, I saw an ending, which was a death, but I thought it
Mhm.
could be, you know how you try to say, oh no, obviously I'm reading it wrong. But I told her something major was going to happen when he turned 50. And when he
Mhm.
turned 50, he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
Mhm.
Will there be a huge earthquake in Mexico within the next 2 months?
I see a number of fives and sixes over the next 24 months here. So 12 to 24. So there are some earthquakes coming up this year. Yes, for
In
Mexico.
Mexico?
Hmm.
Are we going into a global war and is the US and 47 aligning with our enemies?
Question is, are we going to a global war? It is 45 aligning with other overseas
Yes.
adversaries. Yes. Well, so we're not going to a global war. Let me be clear here. Global war being defined as like World War III. But there's a lot of there's gonna be a lot of strife around the world, even in certain areas of Europe. Not big wars, but there's going to be, there's areas of violence here, as well as the Middle East will continue, and but we're not going to see a world war. And yes, the guy in the White House is aligning with overseas adversaries.
Oh, yes.
He's a plant.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Mhm.
So I don't know if the question is here, but is it true that because of his wife, Ivanka, that he became a plant for Russia?
Melania, we're talking about his wife,
No,
Melania.
Ivanka. They said her father was KGB.
Oh, oh, oh. I think it happened long before then. Long before then. Yeah.
I finally saw that movie Apprentice. I fought seeing it, but I wanted to see it because it's up on the Academy Awards. And it's just hard to get through. He's just a terrible person.
By the way, I think the wife, and I'm just going from memory here, Ivana was the wife and Ivanka's the daughter, right?
Yes,
So I think you're saying Ivana.
right. Yeah, Ivanka's the
Ivana, you're
daughter.
talking about, yeah. Their names are always so close that,
I know. I know.
yeah.
Companies are rushing to replace human workers with artificial intelligence. As a result, jobs could become severely limited for humans. Without jobs, people cannot purchase a company goods or services. How bad will this get? And will the US and other governments have to place limits on how much the company's workforce can be transplanted with AI?
So this is all part of a natural evolution of the planet, artificial intelligence, and it's here to stay. It's part of the evolution, but jobs are going to change. That's the important part here. So artificial intelligence is going to be a wonderful tool to actually be able to grasp all the knowledge in the universe, all the knowledge in the world for all history, to make decisions for humanity. So it's not so much replacing jobs, it's shifting jobs. So new jobs will come up in healthcare, science, transportation, manufacturing. But artificial intelligence is a tool for humanity. It's part of the evolution of humanity. It'll be here. So whoever's ever asking that question, it's coming from a place of fear. Yes, there'll be a transition in the things that humans will do, but
Yeah.
artificial intelligence is not here to replace all the jobs. The types of jobs will change.
Do you see SCOTUS reversing or rescinding their presidential immunity ruling?
I do, but it's not going to be till like 2026.
Yeah.
But also keep in mind that he doesn't have total immunity. For example, you can't conspire with an offshore Russian leader to overturn an election. That's not covered under immunity. So he doesn't have total immunity. That's a
Does
misnomer,
he
I think.
think he
Oh,
has
yeah.
total immunity on that though?
No, there's no total immunity for conspiring, being a
Or does he
traitor.
think? Does Trump think? Does Trump
Look,
think
I
he's
don't even think he has rational thoughts. So
okay?
I wouldn't even go there.
Okay.
No.
Are there any moles or people of conscience within 47's administration or EM's inner circle that plan to spill the beans on their dirty dealings?
There are, and there's a lot of back channel communications going on with other world leaders, like in order to like make sure that we don't step into World War III, and that hey, I know it's being said out of the White House and on True Social, but here's the real deal. There's a lot of back channel communications going on to save the world right now.
This was on the social media, but they're saying that Europe is giving um, Ukraine a big amount of money. So
Hmm.
that's good news. And
They
he
are.
said he would gladly step down. He doesn't want to be considered a dictator if they put the Ukraine in NATO. Good for him. Is 47 wants a 25% tariff on imported pharmaceuticals. This will cause extreme increases in drug prices and potential shortages of many medications necessary for millions of Americans. Will the tariffs be implemented or potentially prevented from happening?
I do see the tariff coming into play for certain medications, but the medications look like they're in enough world supply. They come in from other sources. So there's
Okay,
some sort of a workaround going on here. It's like putting, a tariff on vitamin C. Well, you can get vitamin C almost anywhere. So it looks like the supply gap gets filled up by reasonable Medicaid priced medication, is what they're showing me.
maybe even more generic types.
Yeah, there's some sort of, they're showing me a workaround here that it's like, okay, there's a tariff on that, but now we'll just go over here and get it. So
Okay, sounds cool. Uh, is 47 serious about wanting to take over Canada?
no, it's a stupid party trick. So what he's trying to do is leverage better access to resources, minerals, auto manufacturing. This is sorry, but I just call this a stupid party trick. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Will President Zelensky be safe now that EM has comprehensive access to the Pentagon and the public's personal and classified information?
I've always seen President Zelensky safe. He's going to manage through all this,
I
but he's
always
been,
saw him being able to escape when the heat gets really bad.
yeah, he actually is always he's going to maintain his safety. It's a very dangerous period, always has been for him, but he does make it through. And I do see that we're now, and I've talked about this on the shows we do on our channel, that we're coming up now finally to the place where there's going to be some sort of resolution in that Ukraine conflict. So.
Good, that's great news. Hi, Sterling. How is EM getting away with the government coup? Will he get away with it because he has infinite amount of money for legal defenses?
Actually, that's not the driver. The driver is being fully enabled by 45.
Oh, I know.
So being fully enabled, like keys to the kingdom, that's what's going on here. I don't feel like the legal challenges I feel are some of EM's least concerns because he feels like he has a backroom group of lawyers that just take care of it. So.
Okay. Governor Shapiro of Pennsylvania filed a recent lawsuit against the federal government and 47 for locking down appropriate funds designated for Pennsylvania, and will Governor Shapiro be successful?
Yeah, that was like that. Was that $1.2 billion in funding or something that got held up? But I do see that gets unlocked in the next couple of weeks. So I don't know. I mean, almost like they find out the funds will be unlocked and then they actually receive them in a few weeks or something here. So yeah, it looks like it actually gets unlocked.
Do you think Pete Buttigieg could potentially become the official talking head for the Democrats and solidly and synthesize Democratic messaging?
I feel he's going to be one of like a dozen,
Yeah.
I'll call it, intellectual, very aggressive, more in your face sort of Democrats. Now we have to shift, got to push the pendulum the other direction now. And now the Democrats have to be in the offensive, really
Right.
start now getting aggressive. I'm sorry to tell you, it's now time to be aggressive, but I think it'll be more like a dozen Democrats coming forward. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you that speaker for the Democrats is just flatlined lately.
Hmm.
They have the House, they have the Senate, and they have the executive. There's really nothing we can do. He was very Debbie Downer kind of energy.
Hmm.
I was very surprised. Hello, give us some hope.
Hmm.
Hello, Sterling and Linda. Can you please provide us with some potentially good news to ease our current levels of political path?
Sure. I mean, look forward to the summertime this year of a lot of this information coming out on how the election got rigged electronically, and also there's real voter suppression,
Yeah,
thousands of votes that weren't counted from legal voters. And yeah, so all this is going to come out. It's actually going to be a bit of a buffet, so to speak. You'll be able to see everything that's going on. It's going to see the light of day. And then you're going to see a lot of good changes happening as we get on to 2026 but even starting in the beginning of 2026, leading up to the midterms at the end of the year. So yeah, this is you'll see a shift in the tide.
Awesome. Awesome. Hello, Sterling and Linda. Can you? Oh, yeah, you just answered that. So this is good. I saw a clip today of 47 making an announcement that only 47 in the Attorney General will decide what the law is. This terrified me. What do you and the angels and guides say?
I get that was a misinterpreted clip. So the information that was relayed there was not accurate. So I think there is some credence to the fact that anything reporting into the executive branch, like the EPA or whatnot, that
Yeah,
they'll make the laws for, make decisions for. But what I'm getting is that somebody widely misinterpreted that. So instead
okay.
of just divisions into the executive branch, they said, "Oh, includes everything in the world." No, no, no. By the way, a lot of times people these things get half baked and then people run like crazy with them, you know?
Right. And sometimes a lot of the stuff out there now you can't trust.
Right.
I saw actual numbers of the how Germany polls are doing. Trust me, the Nazis aren't going to win. But then somebody else put that the Nazis were winning, and who's telling the truth here?
Hmm.
They're not going to win.
Yep.
Will the Pentagon put up a fight in allowing Doge within its operation and within its operations, and then allow the cutting and firing of U.S. generals?
That's like having a fox in the hen house. So like the fox is in the hen house in that situation there with EM, right?
Yes.
But what I see what's going to do is going to create a lot of early retirements and resignations. So I
Okay.
don't I don't get the firing aspect, but I get a lot of the generals or whatnot. They're saying, it's time to go. And unfortunately, they're going to leave a little early, but it'll get rectified because I feel like some of them will come back out of retirement, interestingly enough. They'll say, okay, look, we're sorry that all happened, but we still need you. And some sort of like coming back out of retirement for some of
Sort
them.
of, I heard that inside the Pentagon, it's crazy right now.
Yeah,
And they're
fox in the
kind
hen
of
house.
working amongst each other about maybe disposing of these people.
Mhm.
But that's kind of the theme of what you were saying too, probably in the summer.
Right.
Okay, the head of Social Security resigned recently. Does this mean Elon Musk already has everyone's personal Social Security information? If so, what does he intend to do with it?
Well, he does have access to all the information. And I think, wasn't that Michelle King? Wasn't she the head of the Social Security Administration, Michelle King,
Yes,
for like 30 years or something? But she resigned or left because she was trying to prevent access to EM.
right.
And then so EM have access to information. He does. And he wants to use it as leverage for the American public. But it won't work out in the long run. But he's trying to use it as some kind of leverage.
Well, that 150-year thing, Social Security explained it, but he wants to act like all these people 150 years old are getting Social
Right,
Security.
right.
Um, the Pope is in the hospital currently with double pneumonia. How sick is he really, and will he make a full recovery?
I'm highly concerned about his health. Highly
Yeah, in
concerned.
2025 predictions, I think you predicted it
I,
too.
I did so. I was just going to allude to that. Then the prediction show I did for this year, I said there will be a transition of the Pope.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I feel he's happy to go, actually.
yeah, I mean, if anyone has, the inside scoop, it would be the Pope.
He's
So,
like, yeah, he's going to see
uh,
paradise.
yeah. But anyway, yeah, I send him a lot of love, a lot of light, want the best for him. But it's a difficult period right now. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
poor
difficult
guy.
now.
And that one lung and everything, but he did a good job, considering.
Hmm.
I'm not Catholic and I'm not for Catholics in terms of the men always being the ones that rule the roost, but I think he was one of the better popes in my lifetime that I ever saw.
Yeah.
But I heard this when I was looking at the announcement about him being so sick, and I said, yeah, Sterling said it, I said it. We knew it was going to be the crossing time. He said, I will leave in the Ides of March.
Hmm.
That's what I heard. Okay. Can I ask you a question?
No. Of course, I'm kidding. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
looking for my cash. Anyway, um, the governor of Maine, as you know,
Hmm.
gave Trump a what for, and he was pissed. He said, "Are you going to stop the trans athletes intermingling or something?" And she said, "I will follow the law and the Constitution." And that didn't please him. I don't know if you saw it, but he threatened her. He said, "Maine was very good to me." He actually lost Maine.
Hmm.
Maine was very good to me, and your career is over with. You know how he is,
Hmm.
especially with a woman. She's now talking about challenging uh, um, Senator Collins. And
Hmm.
when I heard that, I thought, she could possibly win.
Hmm.
Do you feel it too?
I do. And, you know, it's interesting, but it's just the way it is. I'm just going to call something out in society. A lot of women will talk out in a good way before men will. I'm just telling you, I don't know what
No.
it is, but they always say like, don't mess with women. 'Cause it's true. Women, and I love that, they will come out. For some reason, men hold back for some reason. Maybe they're more concerned about their career or whatever it is. But I applaud that. So I'm just saying, yeah,
Right.
I think she's going to be one of many. They're going to come out and aggressively say, enough of this. Yeah.
Right. Well, they're already coming up with a thing that if you're a married woman, you can't vote.
Yeah, that's right. That's that legislation that went through from Texas. Yeah, right.
It's not going to happen. Don't you
Yeah, but
guys worry.
that's all about having the registered name on the voter rolls and all that. That was that
Yeah.
whole yeah.
Now, one last question before we
Okay.
move to the last two. I just want to ask you, the Supreme Court, do you think they'll vote in favor of Trump when he asked that he could fire anybody?
No, it's interesting. I think they're going to pass the buck. So they won't allow them to do it, but they're going to send it again to like a lower court
They
and
already
say
have.
and say
Yeah.
like the question you're asking is like an administrative problem, and we don't do administrative problem. They're going to pass the buck. So in
Okay.
effect, it will still help everybody, you know?
Okay. Oh, that's good. Okay. What do you see coming up this week?
So I do see progress around the Ukraine-Russia thing. Now, I have to tell you, in the predictions show that I did see that, unfortunately, towards the end here, maybe 8% of the land grab, 8% will still be, with Russia. So it won't all go back to Ukraine. I think right now Russia has like 20% control of Ukraine, something like that. So there's progress there. I do see a little more conflict cropping up around the Gaza Strip, unfortunately, this week, on the backdrop of more hostages being released. So it's kind of like counterintuitive, hostages coming, but some more violence out there for some reason. I also have to tell you, I do see a few more airline incidents in the US and in Europe. So, and some looks like sabotage, and some looks like bad maintenance, like leaving a door open or something on a large jetliner. I don't see a lot of loss of life, but I do see some chaos around all that. And then we talked about the earthquakes. There's some earthquake activity coming up still around the west of the U.S. here, and
Okay.
also India this week. Um, yeah. So there's earthquake activity happening here. It looks like the one in India could be large scale, unfortunately.
Yeah. And they have such people living in such a confined area. It can really
Hmm.
hurt a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what was the first item you brought up that you said that you see?
I was talking about progress around Ukraine.
Okay. The second one was Gaza. I'm going to tell you something. I know Trump is talking about taking on the Gaza. I don't see that happening.
I do see resorts being built. I don't see them. Remember, and I read on this months ago. I did. I think when Kirshner, Jared was over there, because there is something there. They are going to try to build a resort there, but they're not going to. It's not going to turn the Riviera. But I did see some of that happening.
But I do see my personal hit is that the Palestinians will take over whatever they're building. So they can build it, but they're going to end up taking it.
Exactly. So it'll be the long-term benefit to the people of Gaza, the Palestinians. Actually, so I saw resorts being built, but it'll actually bring in some tourism or something, and then it'd be a benefit. So
Right,
it
right.
actually is a little bit of it's an element that'll help kind of restart that region. Mhm.
I mean, you can't starve little kids and stuff like that and
Right.
do this kind of damage and not have them grow up and say, oh, hell no.
Exactly.
So, do you have anything your guides and angels want to share?
I do. For this week, the message is when things are challenging, step into your power. You've always had it. You just have to acknowledge it and don't give into fear. So everybody has the power within them. Step into it. You never lose it. You always have it.
Exactly. And it's a natural course to have fear. I was raised in fear. And my advice is breathe and best you can step out of it because fear begets more of the same. So just try to just say, because I don't know if you do this, Sterling. I don't watch much news, but occasionally I do to catch up on what's going on.
Hmm.
And if it's too much, I just shut it down. I don't even bother.
Yeah, it's important to be careful what you take
Take
in.
care of yourself.
And there are a lot of empaths out there. So if you're an empath, you have to really guard that side. So if you're a complete empath and that gift is not being controlled, yeah, you definitely should not be watching a lot of news because you will take
Yes.
it all, you will take all that energy in. Yeah.
My daughter wrote me last night at 12:30, but I was asleep, and I'll talk to her later today. My grandson woke up in a total panic attack, and he's
Mhm.
only 11. So, they're picking up all this stuff.
They are. They are absolutely. Yeah.
So tell us more. How do we get a hold of you?
Sure. So, I mean, as you know, and if there's any new listeners out there, we have a YouTube channel, Sterling Psychic Medium. If you want to book a session with me, it's easy. Go to our website, sterlingpsychicmedium.com. You look for the book a session tab. There are dates available in July, August, and September now, I think. Last time I looked at the calendar. And if they want to join our live streams on Fridays, where I answer a plethora of questions, personal and mediumship and all that, you can join our platinum membership, and the join button is on the front page of the YouTube channel or the website, sterlingpsychicmedium.com. So there you go.
Awesome. That's great. Well, thank you, my friend. It was wonderful seeing you again.
Always good getting together,
And
like
we'll
family.
see you at the end of March.
We will. Absolutely.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.